Well. Dan the Cannon has a problem. This week, I know it's an easy target, but that doesn't mean I can't pull the trigger. Tommy, I never fulfilled my dreamer. Or should I call him by his real name, Thomas Laughlin? Because the funny thing is, I've been laughing at you your whole fucking career. You're no ECW original, you're an ECW afterthought. If you don't believe me, just ask Todd Grisham, who was quoted as saying this week on Raw, if Tommy Dreamer was a wrestling legend, then so is the Brooklyn Brawler. And if that wasn't a bad enough, JR followed by saying, I agree with that. And after a solid endorsement like that, from your colleagues, how in the blue media am I supposed to believe that you're going to capture the ECW championship before your contract expires? In your 16-year career, you've held the championship for a grand total of 30 minutes. Let me repeat that. In your 16-year career, you've held the title for a grand total of 30 minutes. How pathetic. You call yourself the innovator of violence? I call you the innovator of silence. The way your mind-numbing movesets puts me to sleep every time I see you wrestle. You're a glorified jobber in the middle of a pity push who gets nostalgic pops from the crowd because they don't want to let go of the good old days. Hell, I don't blame them. Let's face it, though, guys. The ECW is dead. And if it was really still alive, would you want Tommy Dreamer as the representative? Paul Heyman didn't. Neither does Vince. So why in the hell would you? You're like this 40-year-old guy who still wears his Letterman jacket and brags about the glory days when he scored that one big touchdown. The only problem is, Tommy, you've been riding the bench the whole fucking time, man. And I don't know where you got this delusional idea that you were going to become a champion. What did you ever do to deserve it? Did you work out any time in the last 10 years? No. Did you go and make your in-ring ability any more better or make anyone else better? No. Did you work on your mic skills or your ability to cut promos? No. Then why in the blue hell, what have you been doing for the last 16 years? Nothing. And I'm happy Todd Grisham brings up the Brooklyn Brawler because you guys have so much in common. Seriously, think about it. Most obvious, your in-ring record has to be comparable. You guys grew up 20 minutes away from each other, and your wardrobe is ironically similar. Tommy, you wear more hand-me-down clothes than a homeless person. You look like a walking ECW thrift shop. You're one of the top 5 worst wrestlers of the decade. The only reason Vince keeps you around is because you're willing to work for food stamps and free T-shirts. And most importantly, you're the only guy who's willing to drag Paul Heyman's extreme vision through the mud. If you really had as much respect for ECW as he claimed, then he would have walked away when everybody else did when Vince took a shit on everything ECW stood for years ago. Instead, you collect a pity paycheck living off of your old friend's hard work. Honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you really love the industry so much, you should have speared us all and became a referee. Or better yet, a roadie who put the ring together. But the hits don't end there, folks. Good old Tommy claims big claim to fame is they have an iron cast stomach. The guy who would eat anything. You really felt the need to prove that point, didn't you fat fuck? Well, let's face it, the only reason Paul Heyman kept you around back in the day is because you were willing to work for free. And when you got done doing that, you would fill packages with Rob Van Dam t-shirts and do all of his bitch work yet again for free. I'm sure everybody loved you because you were the guy who said, sure, I'll job to you this week, Raven. Sure, I'll lay down to you, Sandman. Sure, I'll put you over Jack Swagger. Who wouldn't love that guy? You call it heroic, everybody else calls it a stepping stone. You're a ham and egg scrub who, if I call the mid-card, it'd be a compliment. You don't deserve your next breath of oxygen, let alone a title shot. So I hope you cry when you hear this and realize that little Tommy was nothing more than just a dreamer. Damn, I feel better.